All right, it is window day. So we've taken some time to work on some templates on how to best fit this window, because just like with what we did with the roof vents, we took some time just to make sure that our measurements were correct, that everything was supposed to fit right. You know, with the roof vents, if you kind of screw up, you know, there's some wiggle room. With the windows, not so much. You have to be pretty precise or it can create some major problems. So it took a long time kind of forming the templates, and I'll show you that right now. All right, so we took the window frame, this is trim ring on the inside, and we cut a template to fit on the inside. This is what's going to represent what we're going to stick up on the van to trace the hole. But what I want to do first is we're going ahead and put this down on a scrap piece, and these are the inside pieces from the van. So I put this down, we're going to trace it, and then we're going to cut this out just like we would on the van side, and then see if it fits. All right, so we made the window cutout. This might seem like some extra work, but I am terrified of not getting that right. So taking the time to make the template, to actually take a test cut in some material, and then see if the window fits the first time. That way I know if there's a mistake with my template, that it's just here on the practice board rather than up there on the van. All right, so we got the window, and let's pull what we just cut. All right, so that might look like it fits good, but it doesn't. You can see where there's a huge gap along the top, especially on that outside. So we cut the hole way too big. This is why we do that. All right, so template number 2, much better. It just fits perfectly. There's no huge gaps. That's not perfect, but there's plenty of gasket material that'll cover that. So I'm pretty happy with where we are right now. Since we got the cutout in pretty good shape, we've got to do a couple things. And the first thing is we got to cut the supports that are right here. So we made a line level with the body because the trim ring has to fit underneath that. And then so we went down 12.5 inches. The trim ring is 12 inches to give us some space to move in between. So we'll cut here, and we'll cut about this line, and then pull these off, and then we'll get to trying to center the window up in that area. You just got to be careful not to cut too far, because the skin of the van is right underneath here. So just be gentle with it. All right, well, that was slightly terrifying, but not too bad. You just got to be careful, and then we'll get all this off, and then we'll get all the edges prepped and then primed before we put stuff in there. And so I think we're at a place where we're ready to go. So if this is something you're interested in, I'm Dan from Rambling Ambition, and stick around for the video on how to install some C.R. Lawrence awning windows on your 2019 Sprinter van. All right, so here is the awning window itself. This is the back side. This is what the window looks like. The reason why we went with this style is because when you open them, they are, you can have them open in the rain. And basically you just twist this out. It's got a bug screen, it opens up, and I think it's gonna work for both sides. And it gives you a nice sleek look. I'm not a huge fan of the sliders, so the awning window is gonna work out pretty good. So the first step is we're gonna take some painter's tape and cover the area on the outside. The window should end up about right here when we're done. Now we've already cut out those center supports and kind of taped our frame kind of about where we think it needs to be. And so we're going to take this and transfer it to the outside. So here's our template. We measured down 2.5 inches from this ridge, which matches the 2.5 inches on the inside. And that allows the flange of the window to have a space. So we're uniform to this body line right here, so it looks like it's appropriate to the van itself. And this is made out of a rigid plastic, so we know it's not deflecting. I double checked the measurements, and we'll draw this line on the inside, double check everything when we pull it off, and then I think it's time to break out the jigsaw. All right, there it is. So that's a 10.5 inch by 33 inch window. So I think it's gonna be good. Drilled a couple pilot holes for the jigsaw to get into. We have also, to prep, kind of covered this trim piece so that no metal shavings fall down in between the plastic. And then on the inside, we have a tarp set up. To catch all the shavings, to keep them from going down into the van. So we just used a step bit to drill the holes and go into about 1/2 inch. That gives us plenty of room. So we're gonna put a fresh blade on the jigsaw, and then we're gonna cut another giant hole on one side of the van. So fingers crossed it all works and all the measurements were good, but I think we spent enough time to get it right. All right, we got a fresh blade in the jigsaw. It's set to go just up and down. And yeah, we're getting ready to cut a hole. Glasses because I can't see. Hearing protection. Always let the jigsaw blade stop before you pull the blade out so it doesn't catch the metal. So all the tape just stabilizes the panel, and then we won't cut this all the way through. We'll leave a little piece to keep it from flapping to help us get around without it kind of shaking. All right, we'll cut the bottom first. We'll get the tape off and get the rest of the stuff cleaned out, and then we'll see how we did. All right, it looks like we did it. So it fits in. Now you just gotta clean the edges up, paint them, and yeah, super happy. So you can see how much metal is all on the inside, and this tarp has kept all that from going down into the van for more things for us to try and vacuum up. All right, we've taken some Rust-Oleum and painted the edges. We got our tarp set, so we just cut out those top pieces. It has this taped up. So we're gonna go around to the other side and start taping this side like we did the other. All right, so we have the other side marked, taped up, holes drilled, and all of our stuff is taped off. So we're gonna cut this out real quick. I'm gonna spare you the details of the cutting since we saw it on the last one, but we should make quick work of it. All right, so we pre-drilled the holes where the screws come for the clamp ring. So the clamp ring goes about just like that. And then if you pre-drill these holes where the clamp ring goes in, it just makes it a whole lot easier and you don't have to worry about stripping the screws out. Now we're gonna take a bead of Sikaflex and go around the edge of this just to ensure we have a nice seal. So we'll go ahead and get that done and put it up. All right, well, the windows are installed. See out that way. I still got to take that stuff down. And out there. And that's the driver's side. And the passenger side. Well, the installation went pretty well. I'm pretty happy with how everything went. The template that we spent like 4 hours cutting worked perfect. We had a snug fit, but not too snug. And, you know, everything's sealed up. The windows, I think they look great. They operate well. And I'm real happy with how it turned out. So they even look remotely straight, which is another thing. So getting that perfect is a challenge. And then since the body lines just don't have any straight, you know, lines, it just depends on, you know, how you look at it. And so we tried to make as much of a get it as close as possible, and I think we did that and achieved it. And we're going to be happy with the awning style, so that when it's raining, which is when ventilation is the most important, that we can leave the windows open to kind of pull some air from underneath. So anyway, hope you guys got something from the video. The install, the windows, like I said, once we put the adhesive on, we just place it in and then tighten that trim ring. Drilling those holes out were early was super important. Make sure you measure 100 times before you cut. Put a fresh blade in the saw. And when you're using the jigsaw and you need to stop, let the blade stop before you pull it out. That way it doesn't catch on anything. And don't forget to paint the cut surfaces around the window edge after you deburr them with some Rust-Oleum, some primer, some paint to seal the edges. So we went the extra step and added the Sikaflex to the inner corner just to create a nice good seal around that edge. And I'm pretty happy with how that worked out too. So like I said, hope you guys got something from the video. That was the install of our CR Lawrence windows in our 2019 Sprinter van. If you want to use any of the items we use today, check in the links below. We are an Amazon affiliate, so anything you buy doesn't cost you any more, but it does help us out with our project. So every little bit helps. So this is Dan from Ramblin' Ambition, and we'll see you in the next video.